Hey, welcome to Winter is Coming Wednesday, episode 11. This week I am going to do a walkthrough of a card that I did at a virtual crafting day with Jane and Libby. I will try to get a picture of Libby's because I think this particular technique can be used in a variety of ways, and she used a different stamp set than me, so I think that'll illustrate it nicely. And I'm not going to have time to repeat this like I have on my previous episodes because I have been doing paper pumpkin alternatives and we're moving. So unfortunately I didn't get time to actually make this card live. So I used Comfort and Hope. This is a pin inspired project. Libby and I like to test out different techniques, so my particular project is very similar in look, totally different colors, same stamp, which is this circle stamp, but a fall theme, and the pin is a summertime happy birthday theme, so I did change it up quite a bit. Here's the card. The technique is a watercolor technique, so this is Fluid 100 watercolor paper sold by Stampin Up, and it did take a couple of attempts, so I will say as you try this out for yourself and you pick your colors you have to use watercolor paper for your testing, and you could use if you don't like the technique and how it's turning out and you need to add more or less water, you can just flip it over to the other side. So my first one came out too watered, and the colors that we chose were Bumblebee, Pumpkin Pie, and Cajun Craze. The Cajun Craze behind this maple leaf became too saturated and it turned pink. Oops, sorry, hub is moving. I can see that. So watch your colors and how the water and colors react. You start with all wet watercolor paper and then you start stamping. We did a kind of an ombre-ish effect, and then I ended up offsetting it on purpose, but the width of this watercolor paper had the yellow on the end here, so it was really centered when I made it, and then I decided where to cut it after. So you take wet on wet and you start stamping. I just started stamping down, not making it completely the same. You can see there are gaps where the circle, I didn't make it solid, so there's just a bunch of lines. I wanted some variation. And as I went with each color, I added more water, so this was wet while I was stamping, and that's why you get the bleed of that thin line, which I think looks really cool. And then I had a paper towel handy to clean up the water because I didn't want it to become completely saturated. I wanted to keep that lined look to mine. Libby's came out different, and even the pin that we used had more water saturation than mine. I then took the end that I had cut off, flipped it over, and stamped Season of Thanks in Cajun Craze. I wanted to make sure that my paper colors matched, so that is a trick. If you're using specialty paper, use it for your sentiment. And when I die cut these leaves, I then went back with the circle stamp in Cajun Craze and just kind of hinted at the circle around the edges. I can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. It was more of a subtle effect. I didn't want to have it too strong. And then because of all of the activity happening in the middle of the project, I went ahead and left my Cajun Craze background smooth. I used strips of metallic. It's not gold, it might be a champagne color. There's 3 different colors that you get with the metallic foil in the fall catalog. I cut it into 1/4 inch width strips and then lined 3 sides. I made sure to offset this. None of the 3 sides are the same width. I didn't want it all matching. If you do things in offset, though the mat is matching, but the actual background has 3 different widths, and I did that intentionally, and I popped the watercolor piece up and left the leaves and the sentiment not popped up, and then I just attached this gold hoop and added some pearls to finish it off. So I will hopefully get Libby's attached. Let me know what you think. This is kind of a little more off the beaten path. I really like to vary up my cards, so this is quite a bit different than your traditional Thanksgiving card, and I really like it. I'm going to show you the inside now. And what's interesting is these little dotted lines, it's a very fine line stamp, and it actually does have these gaps. So this is the way the stamp is supposed to look. And then I even have the envelope here. When I make my cards, you might wonder, I actually store them. Having had mistakes happen to my cards, I have learned I keep them in sealed clear cellophane, and I put them in a box, well, boxes, because I make so many cards, I have multiple boxes. So this is what this card looks like. I will add a showcase picture for the end of the video, the supplies, as well as the pin, and possibly Libby's image will be on the blog article. We'll see if I get a good enough picture in time. I need to process the video today though, so I haven't gone out and looked to see what she posted. When we do our virtual crafting, we use Pinterest, and we use a private board, and we post our ideas. We talk about them, we make a plan, and then together we there's 3 of us, and we will work on a project, and then when we're done, we will post it. If we have problems along the way, like I had a really bad blooper, my first one that I double stamped. I'll even show you. It's one of the rare cases that I actually decided it was so bad it could not be salvaged into a project. But there it is. Not only did I double stamp, this was my first stamp. Then I stamped this one over here. And, you know, I'm supposed to rotate my paper a quarter turn so that, you know, my leaves aren't matchy-matchy. And I don't know how it happened, but this leaf is exactly the same as this leaf. Go figure. But what my problem was with my inking, as I was saying earlier, is that when I mixed the Cajun Craze with water, it turned pink. Libby had the same problem. We were all using the same colors, and Libby encountered the same thing, and she actually mentioned it first, and I was already moved on from this overly saturated version to my successful one, which you can see uses a lot less water application to it. And now I haven't thrown it away because I think this back, there's nothing wrong with this back. I will use this for something, so it's going to go in my stash. It might even be that after we get moved and everything settles down that I'll be able to come back and do another one of these style of cards for my Thanksgiving stash. And I just wanted to share with you that everybody makes mistakes, even to the point of something that can't actually be salvaged. But again, just flip it over and you know, all of these marks are totally fine. I will make the best of them. So please leave your comments, questions, and suggestions on the YouTube channel or on my blog. And I will, next week, I've got actually a really pretty project that I can't wait to share with you. So next week's going to go back to a Christmas, a really pretty Christmas theme card. And thanks for watching. All of the products you've seen demonstrated today from Stampin' Up! Are available on my store at stuffandthings.com/shop, which redirects you to Stampin' Up! I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I can sell to folks in the US only. Before you go, please like this video, leave your comments, questions, and suggestions, and remember to subscribe to my channel for more card making tutorials.